and it's just sweltering heat, and then I go out and get in the parking lot and I had a remote start of the Durango, and that cold air blowing up on your backside. It was one of those things where I'm glad I had that feature. Channel. My name is Coy. Today I'm going to tell you everything I love about my 2021 SRT Durango. Now, this is not my first Durango this year. It is my second Durango this year. I'd always wanted a Durango. My sister used to have the older style Durango, and I like those. And when they redesigned the Durango, it was my intent for years to buy one, and I never got around to it. Earlier this year, I bought a Ram TRX, and the opportunity became available to buy a Hellcat Durango, and I took that opportunity and sold the T-Rex. Now, I did a review of that Hellcat Durango before I sold it. I had a lot of content planned for that Hellcat Durango, and I had an opportunity to sell it, and I took that opportunity. I made quite a bit of money, but I liked it enough to when the chance came available to buy an SRT Durango, I took that opportunity. Now, the car market is upside down this year. Everything is in favor of the seller, and that's the reason that I've been able to move from car to car to car the way that I have this year. If you're new to the channel, in February, I sold my 2020 Dodge Charger Daytona 392 and my 2020 Ram 1500 Bighorn and bought a Ram TRX. I sold that and bought the Hellcat Durango. I also bought a 2018 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. We actually traded that Hellcat in towards this SRT Durango, and I was chasing another Ram TRX when I sold the Hellcat Durango and ended up with my 2020 Dodge Charger Hellcat wide body. So it's been quite the journey this year with this upside down car market. But this video is about what I love about this 2021 SRT Durango. The first thing I have to say, while I love the supercharger whine in my Hellcat Durango, and this car doesn't have it, it allows you to hear the exhaust a lot better. And the supercharger whine is up front, so you hear that more than you hear the exhaust in the Hellcat Durango. In this car, because the supercharger whine is not there, you hear the exhaust more, so the car just sounds meaner, and I like that about this car. I like that it sounds meaner than the Hellcat does, and that's it's kind of funny to say that since I love the supercharger whine, but again, because the supercharger whine is missing, you get a better sound for that deep growl of the exhaust. The second thing I like about this car is its effortless power. You know, again, it's not a Hellcat, but it's still almost 500 horsepower in a family third row SUV. I love the fact that you touch the gas, you get up and you go. There are very few family SUVs on the road that have as much power as this. And the Hellcat Durango is an extremely limited vehicle, so it's not like you're gonna see a bunch of those out on the road. As a matter of fact, I don't know for a fact that I was the only one to have one in Fayetteville, but I haven't seen any others. So with the Hellcat Durango out of the picture, no more being produced, the SRT Durango is as high as it goes when it comes to third row SUVs with this much power. Even the Trackhawk was discontinued for next year due to emission standards. The next thing I love about this car is its third row. I don't feel like there's a point in having an SUV that only seats 5 people. I get that I get that some people don't have kids and they would rather have the cargo space than the third row, but in my opinion, I like having the third row. I like throwing all my kids in here and let's go to the beach, let's go fishing. You know, that's just one of those things. I like having a third row SUV, and again, when you add almost 500 horsepower to that mix, you have one of the coolest grocery getters on the market. So I love the third row. I love the interior. The interior of this car is leather and suede, just like the Hellcat Durango was. For those that don't know, Alcantara is suede, and it is an upgraded interior option. It is not just a cloth material, as I've heard a few people that are misinformed would like to say. It is an upgraded interior, and I love it. I wish that it was all leather simply because I have kids, but I prefer the suede leather combo over all leather, except for the fact that my kids get it dirty. So anytime we have the car cleaned, we have to have the Alcantara cleaned as well, just because we have kids. This car has every feature that my Hellcat Durango had, and then some. There were 2 things missing in my Hellcat Durango that I wanted it to have that it didn't have, and one of them was the tow package, and that was actually a big deciding factor in me selling it, second to only the money. The money was obviously the major factor, being that I made, you know, I sold it for $13,000 more than what I paid for it, plus I got to cash out the extras that I had in the Challenger that I traded it in for. But the tow package was a big deal. Being that I sold the T-Rex, we didn't have any way of hauling our boat for family trips, and we had rented a couple of trucks from Enterprise on days we wanted to go fishing. This car has an 8,000 pounds tow capacity. I think it's actually 8,700. You could tow pretty much anything you would want on a normal family outing, and it tows my boat with no problems. And the tow package is a big deal, and I love it, and it's a smooth ride even with the boat towed, and we don't have a noticeable drop in gas mileage. That's another difference between this and the Hellcat Durango. We get about 14 to 15 miles to the gallon in this versus the 10 or 11 we got in the Hellcat Durango. That's to be understood. Another feature that this car has that my Hellcat Durango didn't have is the sunroof. Now, I don't use the sunroof as a sunroof. I like to open this cover here when it rains or at night. I especially like it when it's rain and it's all dark and gloomy. I don't know why, maybe that's a personality defect. But I like to open this cover and hear the rain beat down on the window. Or I like to open it up at night. Sometimes I'll open the whole roof up, but yeah, my Hellcat Durango didn't have that, and I would not decide not to buy a vehicle if it didn't have the sunroof, but it's always an option that I like to have. My Charger has it as well, but my Hellcat Durango and my T-Rex did not. One of the most important features is a minor feature. There's several USB ports in this car that's important for, you know, I have 4 kids and they all have devices when we go on a trip. There are 4 USB ports up front, 3 more in the back. There's a 110 outlet in the back for, you know, you could plug in pretty much anything you would want externally with a house outlet. So yeah, there's plenty of ways to charge your phone, charge your iPad, whatever the case may be. If you want to add, you know, anything that requires a home outlet, you can do all that. You want to charge your MacBook on a road trip, you can do that. So yeah, that's another feature that I love. The cosmetics are the obvious thing. I bought a blacked out package. I like it to be all black, and it is all black, including the 392 badge on the sides of the car. I love that. It came factory tinted, although we're thinking about getting darker tint. It's a mean and aggressive looking vehicle, again, for a family vehicle. It is what it is. It's a family vehicle that hauls ass and looks mean as hell. Who would want a minivan when you can have this? I absolutely love this car. It has heated and vented seats. The vented seats are awesome. This is actually the first vehicle that I bought that had vented seats, that I actually felt the air coming up out of the seat. Like I noticed it the other day. You turn the vented seats on, and some of the other cars I've had, you barely felt anything. This one, you can actually feel the air blowing up out of the seat. I thought that was really, really cool, especially on a hot day. I was out at CarMax yesterday and sitting in one of those cars that hadn't been driven, and it's just sweltering heat, and then I go out and get in the parking lot, and I had a remote start of the Durango, and that cold air blowing up on your backside. It was one of those things where I'm glad I had that feature. It also has remote start and heated seats for the winter time, which those are pretty cool. You can remote start it with your phone. It has the Uconnect Guardian feature. You can check your location. It tracks your location. So if your car's ever stolen, you can track it down. You don't have to have EVTS or blackjack or LoJack or whatever the anti-theft devices are. Uconnect Sirius XM Guardian. You can check how many miles your car has, how much gas is in it. You can check when the oil needs to be changed, all kinds of stuff with this app that connects to your car. You can remote start your car from anywhere in the world with the app. Now, finally, the last thing that I want to talk about with this car, and I saved this for last because it's my favorite feature, and that's the Uconnect 5. This has I think it's either 10.5 or 11-inch Uconnect 5 screen, which I absolutely love. This feature was available first in the Jeep branded vehicles. I believe in 2020 was the first year. My mom's Jeep Cherokee has the Uconnect 5. This has the Uconnect 5. I love the Uconnect features I always have, but Uconnect 5, the clarity of the screen, it looks fantastic. I love Apple CarPlay. I love being able to control my text messages, my phone calls, my podcast, Google Maps, Waze. I can use the onboard nav, whatever I want to do with Apple CarPlay. Normally I'm done with these videos when I'm driving before I make it to work, but today I rambled a little too long. But close out this video, I love the Apple CarPlay. I like the way I can control my podcasts. I can control my music. I can answer text messages without having to look at my phone. It's a much safer option. You know, everything's voice controlled. You can use Google Maps or Waze or the onboard navigation. Uconnect 5 is an awesome feature to have, and the only 21 models that was available in for the Dodge side was the Durango. If you have an opportunity to buy yourself a Durango, whether it's the RT or even the GT with the V6 engine, or if you can go all in and get an SRT Durango, I highly recommend the car. I have seen, we were looking at a GT Durango at CarMax yesterday, and it does have the big Uconnect 5 screen, and it's half the price. So definitely, if you have an opportunity to buy one of these cars, go for it. You won't regret it. No issues out of either one of the Durangos I've owned this year, and I absolutely love the platform. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you did like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you get notified for all the videos. I appreciate you guys watching, and y'all take it easy.